Why do the men who care the most often end up feeling the most alone? It's one of life's perplexing truths. You give your all, invest your emotions, and yet the person you care for seems to drift away. It feels unfair, like caring deeply is a flaw instead of a strength. But beneath this frustrating experience lies an important lesson about the subtle mechanics of attraction. In today's video, we're uncovering why excessive giving and overwhelming affection can sometimes push people away, and how striking the right balance is crucial for sustaining connection. By weaving timeless Stoic principles with actionable relationship strategies, we'll help you harness emotional mastery to become a more compelling and centered partner. If you're ready to transform how you approach love and explore how ancient wisdom can elevate your relationships, you're in the perfect place. This isn't just advice, it's a complete perspective shift that can redefine how you build meaningful connections. Let's dive in. Number 1. Over-attachment diminishes your worth. Here's a tough reality. Women often pull away from men who seem overly invested too quickly. It's not because they reject love itself, but because the intensity of that attachment suggests something deeper. Here's the fascinating truth. It's not the love that pushes her away. It's how that love is expressed. When attachment surfaces prematurely, it unintentionally communicates a message that can be deeply unappealing. It whispers, "I need you to complete me. My happiness depends solely on you." This can come across as overwhelming, stifling, and rooted more in insecurity than in genuine affection. Consider this. When you channel all your time, attention, and energy into a woman early on, it might appear romantic at first. But what you're actually signaling is scarcity. You're implying, whether consciously or not, that you lack other interests, priorities, or options. Rather than being seen as a self-assured, purpose-driven man, you risk being perceived as someone whose entire existence revolves around her. Imagine this scenario. You meet someone new, and within days, you're adjusting your schedule to accommodate her, texting her incessantly, and skipping out on plans with friends just to spend time with her. Initially, she may appreciate the attention, but over time, she might start to think, "Why is he always available? Doesn't he have anything else going on? Is he idealizing me because he thinks I'm his only chance?" Her reaction isn't about playing hard to get or creating distance. It's about wanting to be with a man who is secure, independent, and not reliant on her for validation. The Stoic principle of memento mori, remember that you must die, is a profound reminder of life's transience. It's not a morbid thought. It's a call to focus on what truly matters. Embracing this mindset allows you to see relationships as a part of life, not the entirety of it. This doesn't mean you shouldn't love passionately. It means you shouldn't hinge your sense of self-worth or happiness on another person's presence in your life. Instead of becoming fixated on one individual, apply this Stoic insight to cultivate a rich and fulfilling life centered on your own passions, ambitions, and growth. By pursuing your own path and living with purpose, you naturally exude an attractive energy. You're not chasing, you're leading. You're not seeking approval. You're standing firm in your own confidence. This magnetic self-assuredness is what draws others toward you. It's what keeps her intrigued. Ultimately, men who lose themselves in the pursuit of love often find that the love they desperately sought slips through their fingers. Genuine connection flourishes through mutual respect and admiration, not dependency. The moment you compromise your identity to keep someone, you've already lost the essence of what makes a relationship work. Focus instead on building your inner strength and self-esteem. Women are irresistibly drawn to men who are complete and fulfilled on their own. Men who don't need them, but choose them. When you prioritize self-respect and purpose, you shift the dynamic entirely. In summary, don't be the man who chases approval and hinges his worth on someone else. Be the man who creates such a fulfilling and inspiring life that she feels drawn to join you in it. By putting yourself first, you'll find that women aren't pulling away from your care. They're gravitating toward the confidence and value you embody. Number 2. Why she gradually pulls away. Women rarely leave relationships in a dramatic, abrupt fashion. Instead, their departure often happens slowly, almost imperceptibly. At first, everything seems fine. Then, you start noticing subtle changes. She texts less frequently. Her replies become shorter. She's not as eager to make plans, and her warmth feels diminished. Though her withdrawal is quiet, it's far from accidental. The signs are there, yet many men, caught in their emotions, fail to recognize them. This gradual retreat isn't usually a spur-of-the-moment decision. It's often the result of lingering doubts and unmet emotional needs. Rather than confront the issues head-on, she begins to create space. This process acts as a trial period, allowing her to assess whether she truly wants to leave or if the relationship can be salvaged without dramatic conflict. It's her way of easing into emotional detachment while deciding her next steps. Many men miss these signals because they're too focused on their own emotional investment. They assume that as long as she hasn't said anything explicitly, things must be okay. But her actions often convey what her words don't. If you're not paying close attention, her subtle cues may go unnoticed until the day she tells you it's over. When you're deeply involved in a relationship, it's challenging to objectively see the signs of her pulling away. Your desire to make things work can blind you to her subtle signals. You convince yourself she's just busy or going through a rough patch. Yet, deep down, you sense a shift. Acknowledging this reality can be painful, as it forces you to confront the possibility that she's distancing herself. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of seeing reality clearly and not letting emotions obscure our judgment. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In the context of her quiet withdrawal, this principle calls for observing her actions calmly, without letting fear or desire cloud your interpretation. When you notice her creating distance, resist the urge to panic. Instead, take a step back and observe. Pay attention to her behavior without projecting your hopes or fears onto it. Ask yourself, is she putting effort into spending time with you? Does she initiate conversations, or are you always the one reaching out? Are her words consistent with her actions, or do you notice a disconnect? By evaluating the situation objectively, you can respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. If you feel her pulling away, chasing her harder is the worst thing you can do. Instead, respect the space she's creating. Use this time to focus on yourself, your goals, interests, and personal growth. This isn't about ignoring her or playing games. It's about showing that you respect her autonomy and are confident enough not to cling desperately. Let her take the lead if and when she's ready. This approach conveys strength and emotional maturity. It shows her that you're not willing to compromise your dignity or force something that isn't mutual. If she's genuinely interested, she'll notice your calm and composed response, which may reignite her interest. If she doesn't, you've saved yourself the heartbreak of holding on to someone who had already begun to let go. Ultimately, your inner strength and self-respect set you apart. These qualities make you the kind of man she realizes she'll regret losing, whether she acknowledges it or not. What do you think about this perspective? Have you ever noticed subtle signs of someone pulling away, or perhaps experienced them yourself? Your insight could help others going through similar situations. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, or simply type, "I value my growth," to affirm your commitment to self-respect and inner strength. Number 3. The risks of letting emotions take the lead. Here's a common pitfall many men encounter in relationships. They allow their emotions to steer their decisions. At first, this seems natural. Love and passion can be overwhelming forces, often driving our actions without a second thought. But when choices are made purely based on fleeting feelings, it sets the stage for complications. Emotional-driven decisions can lead you to compromise your aspirations, abandon your principles, and reshape your entire life to revolve around her. While this might feel like devotion, it actually weakens your position and jeopardizes the stability of the relationship. Reflect for a moment on a time when you made a hasty decision to make someone happy. Maybe you rearranged your day at the drop of a hat because she asked. Or perhaps you put a personal project on hold to spend more time with her. It might have felt like you were proving your commitment, but in reality, you may have inadvertently signaled a lack of grounding. Actions like these can convey that you're willing to push aside your own priorities to maintain her happiness, an approach that can ultimately erode respect and balance. Over time, this dynamic can create a subtle shift. She may start perceiving you as someone overly influenced by emotions, lacking the firm resolve needed to navigate life's challenges. This doesn't foster security in the relationship. Instead, it can leave her questioning your ability to make sound, steady decisions when it counts. A partner craves someone who can be a steady anchor, not someone swayed by every emotional current. A stable relationship begins with a solid personal foundation. When decisions are driven by fleeting emotions rather than clear principles, it's like building a house on unstable ground. It may hold for a while, but cracks inevitably appear. By anchoring your choices in logic and sound reasoning, you bring stability. You demonstrate reliability, showing that even in emotionally charged moments, you can make thoughtful, well-grounded decisions. This isn't about shutting down your emotions or becoming cold and detached. It's about finding harmony between feelings and principles, allowing your emotions to inform you without letting them control you. Emotions can act as important signals, but they should never override your core values. A woman admires a man who can balance emotional depth with rational strength, someone who can listen to his heart but still lead with his mind when necessary. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely noted that true wisdom lies in acting according to principles, not impulses. In heated moments, it's tempting to make choices based on what feels good, whether it's avoiding discomfort, keeping someone happy, or indulging in short-term satisfaction. But Seneca's teachings remind us that this path often leads to regret. Instead, by aligning our decisions with our moral compass and long-term vision, we create a life of clarity and purpose. Think of your values as a compass, guiding you through turbulent emotional waters. They keep you grounded, ensuring you stay true to yourself even when life gets stormy. When you remain steadfast in your values, you build trust, not only from her, but also within yourself. This consistency forms the foundation of mutual respect and admiration. A strong man doesn't ignore his emotions, but he also doesn't allow them to dictate his actions. He recognizes and understands his feelings, learns from them, and ultimately makes decisions that align with his goals and values. This emotional discipline is rare, but it exudes a level of maturity and inner strength that is deeply attractive. So, the next time you feel compelled to make a quick decision to please her, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, does this reflect my values? Am I acting out of genuine conviction, or am I chasing temporary gratification? By prioritizing reason and tempering it with emotion, you show her that you are not just a man of feeling. You are a man of character, someone she can respect and depend on. That is what sets you apart and makes you truly magnetic. Number 4. Why she loses interest. When a woman begins to pull away, it's often linked to a deep, subconscious force, hypergamy. Now, don't jump to conclusions and label this as shallow or materialistic. It's actually an instinctual drive rooted in biology. Women are naturally inclined to seek the highest value partner available. This isn't about wealth or superficial attraction. It's about ensuring the survival and well-being of potential offspring. This primal instinct has existed since the dawn of humanity, shaping her choices, even if she isn't fully conscious of it. You might believe that by showing her how much you care, putting her first, and making her your entire world, you'll win her over. However, in most cases, it tends to do the opposite. When you invest too much too soon, it creates doubt in her mind. She'll start asking herself, if he's this eager to secure me, is he really the best I can do? Why isn't he acting like a man who has other options? It's not that she doesn't appreciate your affection. It's just that hypergamy compels her to look for signs of strength and value. A man who appears too eager too quickly might come across as lacking those qualities. Imagine this scenario. You encounter a man who has it all. He's successful, physically fit, confident, and well-spoken. On paper, he's the perfect partner. But if he starts obsessively chasing a woman, texting her constantly, changing his plans for her, and prioritizing her before the relationship is even solidified, he unknowingly diminishes his value in her eyes. Despite his external traits, his actions signal a lack of internal strength and abundance. Instead of projecting the image of a man who is in control, he seems needy and desperate. That's when she starts to back off. It's essential to understand that this doesn't make her a bad person. Her instincts are simply leading her toward what she sees as the strongest, most capable partner. Hypergamy isn't about seeking the wealthiest or flashiest man. It's about being attracted to a man who exudes self-assurance, confidence, and the ability to stand alone. The Stoic principle of amor fati, or the love of fate, teaches us to embrace everything that happens in life, including the instincts of others, which are beyond our control. Rather than resisting hypergamy or resenting women for following these natural urges, accept the reality of human nature. Understand that you can't control her subconscious preferences, but you can control your own responses. Let amor fati serve as a reminder to focus on what you can change, your own actions, growth, and self-improvement. By striving to become the best version of yourself, you'll naturally attract higher quality partners. You won't need to chase anyone or prove your worth, because it will be clear through how you live your life. True confidence doesn't come from trying to win someone's affection, but from knowing you are enough. So instead of stressing over whether she's losing interest, ask yourself, am I living up to my potential? Am I building a life I can be proud of, regardless of who is or isn't around? When you live with self-respect, the right person will be drawn to you, not because you chased her, but because you embody the qualities she's instinctively seeking. What are your thoughts on this perspective? Does it resonate with your experiences, or do you have a different take? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your insights. Or, if you agree with this message, type, "I am enough and I keep growing," to affirm your commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. Let's continue this journey together as we move into the next important point. Number 5. Women seek strength over neediness. Women naturally gravitate toward partners who exhibit strength and resilience, qualities that create a sense of security and stability, especially during uncertain times. When a man becomes emotionally dependent, always looking for her validation, it can trigger an instinctual reaction. She may start to feel, if he can't stand on his own, how can he provide the stability I need? It's not necessarily a conscious thought, but a deeply ingrained biological response. Picture two men. The first constantly seeks her attention, frequently checking in, needing reassurance, and molding his life around her. While he might believe he's being caring, his actions suggest insecurity. His need for her presence to feel complete reveals a lack of inner strength. The second man, however, is self-assured. He deeply values her, but his happiness doesn't hinge on the relationship. He's focused on his own ambitions and purpose, enjoying her companionship without becoming dependent on it. Now, which man do you think she's drawn to? It's obvious. It's the one who stands firm on his own. His actions demonstrate his ability to handle life's challenges, making him inherently attractive. This inner strength sends a clear message. He's a reliable partner, someone who can navigate adversity with composure. It's a magnetic quality that communicates leadership and dependability, traits women instinctively admire. The reason women favor strength over dependency lies in their subconscious need for protection and stability. From an evolutionary perspective, strength symbolized survival. Throughout history, strong men provided, protected, and led, while weaker men depended on others for support. Even in today's world, these primal instincts influence attraction dynamics. When you display emotional dependency too early, it sends subtle warning signals. She might think, if he's this clingy now, how will he handle real challenges? Can he stay composed when things get tough? It's not that she doesn't value a loving and attentive partner. Rather, she desires someone capable of love without losing himself in the process. The Stoics championed the virtues of self-reliance and inner resilience. They taught that true strength comes from mastering oneself rather than seeking approval from others. Epictetus famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This wisdom highlights that to be genuinely desirable, a man must cultivate independence and self-worth that isn't swayed by external opinions. When you embody this principle, you become a man who doesn't need constant validation. You radiate confidence in your choices, abilities, and direction in life. This independence is incredibly appealing because it signals that you're a man of substance, someone who won't buckle under pressure. The truth is, women aren't looking for someone to carry emotionally. They want a partner who can stand beside them as an equal, or even take the lead when necessary. If you're always chasing her approval, you risk becoming a burden instead of a source of strength. Instead, focus on fortifying yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Be the man who loves deeply but remains grounded in his identity. Show her that while you cherish her, you're secure enough to walk your own path. When you cultivate this kind of resilience, you naturally become the partner she admires and desires. You'll no longer be just another man seeking attention. You'll be the man she feels proud to stand beside because she knows you're equipped to face life's storms. Number 6, it's all about how she feels around you. Let's get something straight. Women don't fall in love with a list of accomplishments. It's not about how tall you are, how much you earn, or how sharp you look. Sure, those things might catch her eye initially, but they won't keep her interested long term. What truly matters is how she feels when she's with you. It's the emotional connection that keeps her hooked. The excitement, the comfort, the unpredictability, and sometimes even the challenge. If your interactions are too predictable or you rely solely on surface-level traits, you may impress her at first, but you risk fading from her memory over time. Think about it. Have you ever noticed a woman deeply drawn to a guy who doesn't fit the mold of the most attractive or the most successful? It's because he knows how to evoke something special in her emotions. He creates moments that linger in her mind, offering experiences that feel unique and unforgettable. He stands out because he understands that genuine attraction comes from making her feel something deeply, not from checking boxes on a list of desirable traits. On the flip side, you could be the most conventionally attractive man, fit, wealthy, ambitious. But if your conversations lack depth or your actions become too predictable, her interest will eventually wane. It's not because she's being unreasonable. It's because attraction isn't about logic. It's about emotion. What sticks with her is how you make her feel in your presence, not just what you offer on the surface. It's tempting to believe you need to meet certain standards, like looks, money, or status, to keep her attention. But here's the truth. You can have all of that and still fail in relationships if you neglect the emotional connection. Women are intuitive. They can sense when a man is trying to impress instead of genuinely connect. That kind of energy feels hollow and uninspiring. So, what should you focus on instead? It's not about external validation, but about how you show up. Are you fully present when you're with her, or are you just going through the motions? Do you bring energy and authenticity to your interactions? Or are you leaning on superficial traits to do the heavy lifting? The key lies in creating a genuine emotional connection that resonates with her. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." While you can't control how she feels, you can control the type of man you choose to be. When you lead with purpose and live authentically, you naturally exude the kind of energy that draws others in. You don't need to be someone else. You just need to be the best version of yourself. That's what captivates. A man who is comfortable in his own skin, isn't chasing validation, and approaches life with passion and intention. At the end of the day, what women remember most isn't the words you said or the things you owned. They remember how you made them feel, the joy, the comfort, the excitement, and even the intrigue you brought into their lives. It's not about perfection. It's about being genuine. When you can evoke a range of emotions, happiness, curiosity, passion, and even a touch of tension, you create a connection that sticks. Instead of focusing on building a checklist of traits, focus on becoming a man who offers an emotional experience no one else can replicate. Let your authenticity shine. Embrace who you truly are, and allow your interactions to flow naturally. That's how you build real attraction. That's how you become unforgettable. If this resonates with you, take a moment to reflect. How are you showing up in your interactions? Are you focused on building genuine connections? Or are you leaning too much on external traits? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. Or, if you're ready to embrace authenticity and connection, simply type, "I choose to lead with authenticity," to affirm your commitment to growth. Let's keep this conversation going. And now, let's dive into what comes next. Number 7. embracing mystery and imagination. Women flourish in an atmosphere rich with imagination and fantasy. They're drawn to the thrill of the unknown, the allure of untapped possibilities, and the excitement of what lies just out of reach. If you are constantly available, always predictable, or at her disposal whenever she calls, you unintentionally dismantle that sense of intrigue. Without mystery, the spark of excitement fades, leaving nothing for her mind to explore or anticipate. The relationship risks becoming mundane, routine, replacing the vibrant adventure she craves. Why are stories of romance and adventure so compelling to women? It's not just the happy endings, but the twists, uncertainties, and moments of unpredictability along the way. These narratives ignite emotions and keep the audience engaged, feeding a natural desire for an evolving and thrilling journey. It's the uncertainty of what's next that captivates the heart and mind. When you are too transparent or readily available, you inadvertently strip away that sense of wonder. You might become like a favorite book she knows by heart, comforting but no longer exhilarating. If she knows your every move and reaction, the relationship shifts from being an exciting journey to a predictable routine. Instead of sparking her curiosity, you settle into the role of a steady, dependable constant. Safe, but lacking the passion that stems from a bit of unpredictability. The Stoics emphasized living a life of purpose, embracing challenges, and finding excitement in personal growth. Seneca once said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." In relationships, this translates into pursuing a vibrant, fulfilling life that naturally exudes adventure and excitement. By living with intention and passion, you create an air of mystery and intrigue without the need for pretense or games. This doesn't mean crafting a facade or playing hard to get. It's about genuinely living a life filled with exploration, discovery, and growth. When you pursue your own goals, chase your interests, and expand your horizons, you naturally foster a magnetic sense of allure. Women are drawn to men who embody this energy, a sense of purpose that inspires curiosity and admiration. What women truly seek goes beyond stability. They yearn for the thrill of shared adventures, the joy of exploring the unknown together. By incorporating elements of mystery and imagination into your dynamic, you transform yourself from just a partner into a source of inspiration and excitement. So, instead of following a predictable script, embrace spontaneity. Dive into your passions, try new things, and continue evolving as a person. Let her wonder what you're up to, dream about what might happen next, and feel the excitement of your unpredictable yet purposeful energy. This kind of intrigue isn't something you can fabricate. It emerges naturally when you live a life rich with intention and vitality. Ultimately, what draws her closer isn't a checklist of qualities, but the way you make her feel. By weaving a sense of wonder, adventure, and excitement into her life, you create a connection that she'll want to return to time and again. Number 8. The magnetism of composed detachment. The more you show that you're unafraid to let go, the stronger her desire to hold on becomes. This isn't about being callous or unkind. It's about exuding a composed detachment. It's not playing hard to get or pretending to be uninterested. Instead, it's a reflection of true self-respect and inner calm. It's the quiet confidence that communicates, "I desire you, but I don't depend on you for my fulfillment." When a woman senses you're comfortable walking away, it shifts her perspective, making you the person she feels compelled to pursue. Consider the fascination with something slightly out of reach, The harder it is to obtain, the more we long for it. This is a fundamental aspect of human psychology. We value what isn't easily accessible. When you embody composed detachment, you signal that your world doesn't revolve around her, which naturally sparks curiosity. She begins to wonder, why isn't he chasing me like everyone else? What makes him so composed? What does he know that I don't? These questions ignite intrigue and amplify her interest. Conversely, when you constantly seek her validation, go out of your way to please her, or act as though losing her would be devastating, you inadvertently diminish your appeal. Instead of appearing as a confident, desirable partner, you risk being seen as someone lacking alternatives. Desperation is a surefire way to extinguish attraction. It's essential to differentiate composed detachment from apathy. You're not ignoring her or being cold for manipulative reasons. Instead, you're showing that while you value her presence, you also prioritize your independence and self-worth. You allow the relationship to evolve naturally without trying to control or rush it. This approach is compelling because it stems from genuine self-assurance, not calculated tactics. The man who masters this balance becomes captivating. He doesn't falter under her tests, doesn't get thrown off by her attempts to make him chase, and respects his own boundaries and energy. This doesn't make him distant. It makes him someone she feels fortunate to be with. He's the man she wants to win over because he isn't consumed with trying to win her. The Stoic thinker, Epictetus, emphasized the value of not clinging to external outcomes. He believed that true freedom lies in valuing your autonomy above all else. As he said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. In relationships, this means not tying your self-worth or happiness to another person's approval or actions. By practicing detachment, you free yourself from constant concerns about whether she stays or leaves. You stop obsessing over the relationship's direction or her feelings in every moment. Instead, your focus shifts to becoming the best version of yourself, living with integrity, and allowing things to unfold naturally. This mindset liberates you because you take charge of your emotions and well-being rather than making them contingent on her reactions. Composed detachment is not about games. It's about valuing yourself enough to walk away if needed. It's about maintaining your individuality and never letting someone else define your sense of worth. When you demonstrate that you respect yourself and won't cling out of fear, you transform the dynamic. Suddenly, she recognizes that keeping your attention is something she must work for. Always remember, the most magnetic men are those who are at peace with themselves, who don't chase validation, and who chart their own course in life. By embracing composed detachment and integrating Stoic principles into your relationships, you become that man, self-assured, emotionally grounded, and effortlessly attractive. As we reach the end of this video, let's take a moment to reflect on the key insights we've uncovered. Today, we explored a common yet perplexing challenge many men face. Why does showing excessive care and affection sometimes push partners away? The issue isn't love itself, it's how that love is communicated and received. When affection transforms into attachment or emotional dependence, it can create an imbalance, leaving the other person feeling suffocated or even trapped. The irony is that what's meant to bring two people closer can end up driving them apart. This concept ties directly into the enduring wisdom of Stoicism. The Stoics emphasize self-mastery, self-worth, and focusing on what we can control, namely our thoughts, actions, and reactions. Applying this to relationships means leading with confidence and staying anchored in your own purpose. Instead of seeking validation or approval from others, you remain steadfast and true to your principles. This approach naturally enhances your appeal because it signals strength and independence. You show you're someone who builds a fulfilling life, not someone who depends entirely on a partner for happiness. Here's the takeaway. It's not about loving less. It's about loving wisely. Offer affection, but from a place of strength and abundance, not insecurity. Share your love freely, but don't let it define your sense of self. Cultivate your own interests, pursue your goals, and nurture your passions outside the relationship. Striking this balance prevents neediness, keeps the connection vibrant, and allows love to thrive without compromising your individuality. Now, pause and ask yourself, are you living in alignment with your values and ambitions? Or are you sacrificing too much of yourself to gain someone else's approval? This self-reflection can reveal powerful truths and inspire a healthier, more balanced approach to your relationships. I challenge you to take these lessons and put them into action. Be the man who is comfortable in his own skin, who offers love without losing his identity, and who leads with integrity and purpose. When you embrace these qualities, you won't just attract the right partner. You'll also find fulfillment and peace, no matter how the relationship unfolds. Thank you for being part of this journey of growth and self-awareness. If today's discussion resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up. It truly supports the channel. I'd love to hear your perspective in the comments. Have you ever struggled with overcaring in a relationship? How do you maintain a healthy balance? Share your experiences so we can grow together. Lastly, don't forget to subscribe for more insights on mastering relationships through Stoic principles. Explore the recommended videos on screen for a deeper dive into these ideas. Thanks for watching, and remember, real strength comes from living a life where love is an expression of your wholeness, not a search for completion.